Hello.
Hi. Yeah, welcome Anastasia and Pasha from Belarus. Nice to see you guys in this situation. It's so great to meet you via Zoom, to just stay in touch and stay connected. We have already talked with you, Pasha, a couple of years ago about your personal situation in the Belarus. And I think the situation is even more dramatic right now in your region, in Ukraine, in Russia. So it's good to keep updated from your side. And I would love, first of all, maybe that you, Anastasia, would introduce yourself. Tell me about you being a musician, being a gospel friend, and tell me short about yourself. And then, Pasha, you can also talk about yourself shortly, and then we can start a little discussion. I will ask you some questions.
Yeah. So hello, everybody. My name is Anastasia. I am a conductor of a gospel choir Alive. It's a youth choir, and I'm a wife of a youth pastor in a church, and I'm a musician here in Belarus.
Where are you in Belarus?
Minsk. We are
Minsk.
situated in Minsk. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And Pasha?
I'm a leader of Minsk Gospel Choir. I'm also from Minsk. I'm a composer and a musician, and we've been doing gospel choirs for 9 years, and we are enjoy everything we do. Enjoy singing. We enjoy the all the communication, all the inspiration we give to each other. We enjoy visiting other countries, brothers and sisters from Denmark, from Germany, from Poland, and so we're like a part of this big gospel family.
Yeah, thanks for joining us here today. As I mentioned before, the situation really has dramatically changed in the past week or two. And from your side, Pasha and Anastasia, what has changed in the past year, maybe since our last Zoom call? Thank you.
So we had a meeting right after this election problem with in our country, and that we don't have all these human rights in our country. Still, until then, almost is the same, because we as society just continue to function and to work as they used to. But of course, financially and economically and politically, we're still in a huge crisis, and our country is dependent to Russia. And also, of course, people need hope, people need some inspiration, and the community is, this is what gospel choirs give to them. And of course, some inspiration from and the energy from gospel songs, from God's message. This is what keeps them. We understand that we are going through a big crisis as conductors of gospel choirs, because we try to invite more people to choirs, but of course, when there is a corona situation, when there is a election situation and the war in Ukraine right now, people do not want to find a hobby for themselves because they feel like they don't have enough energy for everything. And of course, economically, it's so unstable. I mean, personal, materialistic, financial situation of people. But what I found out is that people just enjoy when they come to rehearsals because they meet friends. We try to create a situation of friendship, of openness, of this energy, and this is where people get what they need. And all these guys who do not go to the church, who do not believe, they're still right now they're open to spiritual, because when you're focused on this political situation, when you read news every day, when you're too involved in that, of course, it's lots of things going through your head, and you want to focus on something external, or something bigger than what's going on. That's why people are open to read from God's word. They're open to discuss things, even though not all of members of my choir are Christians. Most of them are really open to discussion, and I feel that the God's message these days is really what they need to get. And of course, we try to not to force it on them. We just see if they're open, and we meet and we discuss. And this is how gospel choir also functions in Belarus.
Great to hear. Anastasia, what's your situation right now?
I feel like I need to talk to three groups of people. First of all, I want to say to all Ukrainians who are right now in Europe, and maybe they will hear my voice, I just want to say that we are sorry. We are against, we are not involved in it. I know that sometimes news says different stuff, but as a people, as a nation, we are against this situation in Ukraine. The second point that we have families and neighbors and friends right now in Ukraine. My friends, my family also were there. So we are involved in tragedy also. We are not maybe right now there, but we feel the same pain, and we are struggling with them, with you guys, Ukrainians. The main thing that our people, Belarusian, are right now volunteers in different countries. After selection problems, many people go out from our country, and right now they are volunteers in different countries, and they help to take Ukrainian people. And the point is that we are not only sorry, we're trying to do something, what we can, financially, emotionally, talking with people. So we are standing with Ukrainian people also. And the third point, that we are praying. I know that sometimes it's here like shaking the window, you know, or shaking the wind. But personally, me, I have 6 miracles in this week. When somebody asked me to pray, and then we find people alive, like 6 miracles.
Wow.
It's what I had in this week from Ukraine. They asked, pray, we pray, and we see miracles. So God is still with us, with Ukrainian people also, and we are praying. If somebody needs to have prayed, just give them my contact. I will pray also. The second group of people, what I want to say, European people. First of all, I want to say thank you for taking all those people from our countries. It's a huge tragedy, and you are so you have so many hospitality. You have so big heart to all those people. You take them, you feed them, you try to find houses for those people. So it's a huge deal, and I just want to say thank you. And also, I want to say that unfortunately, in European country, I know that many people think that Belarusians are aggressive. And even we saw pictures when some cafe don't take our people because we are Belarusians. And some people think that we do not enough, like we do something, but it's not enough. And to those people, I just want to say, please open up internet and enter Belarus 2020. And you will see what's going on in our country right now, because there is more than 2,000 prisoners, political prisoners in our country. And my neighbors, my friends are also in prison. So please just don't judge. I know it's hard to be not hate to this nation maybe, but we are trying to do our best. I know that maybe it's not enough for Ukrainian people, but we are trying. Yeah. And the third point, the third group of people, I want to say something to churches, because I know that the word revival is so strange for us. Sometimes we think that a revival will be something very lightness and happy and different stuff, but through the struggling, God reveals the churches in our countries. And I see that people start to pray very, very strong. We see miracles. We are together. We don't know what will be tomorrow. We are staying in our country. I will not go right now anywhere. I am here. And I know that God will do miracles through his churches. So thank you for your prayers. Yeah. About our choir. I have a little choir, maybe 12 people, but the choir became a place of shelter. and we spend time together. And many people through the choir come to my church also. Like this is the time for people to find a peace and God, because all what's going on around us is not good. That's why we find a place of shelter in singing with God and spending time together. And it's a very big deal to have a choir in Minsk right now.
Cool. And how often do you meet with your choir, Anastasia, and Pasha? How often? Every week, or daily, or weekly, or monthly?
We have a meeting one day for a week, but people are in a contact during all the week. They call each other and they speak to each other, and they all know if they will need a help, they call to me anytime. Like our rehearsals are once a week, but the fellowship is more.
Okay. When you rehearse, do you really rehearse, or is it more talking, networking, just hugging each other, staying close, exchanging, or is it really a musical thing?
No, we have musical stuff.
Cool.
Because people need something to do. It is kind of necessary to do something. Like, yeah.
And Pasha, how often do you meet with the choir?
Yeah, we meet once a week to rehearse. During rehearsal, we have, of course, tea time, when we have breaks, when we communicate, when we connect. And also once a week, we have a small group meeting. And just last week, after this crisis in Ukraine, we had a big service meeting. What we would read from the Bible, we would talk, we would discuss things, because we saw that people are really troubled inside and they couldn't find like themselves into this storm. So we read through book of Job. We talked about how things might happen to a person, how can he react, and what is the position of God there, who is to blame, what can we do, what should be the right attitude, how to keep peace in yourself. So yeah.
And do you have both kind of like a concert or whatever ahead of you, just an aim to rehearse for, or services, however? Yeah, it's, of course you can rehearse just to rehearse, but do you have a higher purpose beyond that?
We are planning to do the solo night in May for our people, and maybe somebody who will join. And if we will have some possibility to do something on Easter, we will also do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, in our choir, we actually did have concerts for the last 4 months. We have a Lion King musical, so we are often invited to sing great songs from Disney. Now, of course, because of this situation, we try not to advertise that, and we do not arrange, because this would be like more entertaining, and we of course understand that right now it's not the situation where it wouldn't be appropriate. But still, we have a plans in 2 weeks to join a worship service during Sunday in one church, and on Easter another church invited us also to share a celebration, to sing something. So we arranged a few concerts, I would say like a few performances, but they would be in a Christian service format. So, and we involve everybody in that.
I've heard that when you sing, this oppresses fear. So this is something I think which is always important, but now even more than ever. When you sing, what does it give to you personally?
Yeah, I would say 2 things. First of all, every time I talk about my choir, I would invite everybody not just to sing, but just to come, to be in this atmosphere, to catch this vibe, to catch this mood when you're among friends, when you don't have any judgmental stuff, when everybody is glad to see you, when you come as you are. And like I talked about that so many times, but still, as during this crisis, I go to rehearsal, I feel the same. I still feel warmth. I still feel calm, I feel peace, and this is what I get from the choir, and hopefully choir members get the same. I hope. And second thing, I know that I would like Anastasia to tell the musical side of that, because she's a professional teacher of vocal singing. And I would say another thing, that everybody right now encourages people to have hobbies, to focus on something else, to work on something, just so you have your own time, self-development, and time for yourself. That's why I would also say singing for me and for my choir members is like a safe place, a safe island where you go, where you would not discuss politics, you would not discuss situation, you would just bring out your emotions, you will sing, you will feel, and you will be among friends.
Yeah, the same. I just want to say that the last rehearsal, we had a song Shekels. We've seen it a lot of times years before. And in the last rehearsal, I just feel inside that we should sing exactly this song in the end. And this song was with a dance. So if you can imagine people who are pressed and like very depressed, yeah, they start to dance. And just to say, take the shackles off my feet so I can dance. I just want to praise you. I just want to praise you. Can you imagine
Amen.
what's going inside of people who sing something like this? And this is the song totally about our situation. And in the end of the rehearsal, I just felt like all people start to laugh. It's so unusual, you know, when somebody start to laugh, one, you can imagine maybe something inside him or her, but all the choir start just laughing and dancing. And it was such a good deal, such a big deal, a joy. And I realized that God gives joy no matter what. Like we can have this joy and power. And there is a lot of songs right now about to be winner, to be a winner inside of you, to be strong enough with the God, to have a joy, to be unshakable, something like this. So there is a lot of song about it and about love. And also in this rehearsal, we sing a song in Ukrainian. They just asked me to do it. Like I sing this song for them. They asked me. They started to cry, to pray, and then we finished with a big joy. So kind of therapy, you know.
That sounds so amazing, guys.
Yeah.
I love it to hear from you. You have been on the road to Gospelkirchentag in 2018, last time in Karlsruhe. We have another edition of Gospelkirchentag this year in September in Hannover. I know it's a long time and difficult to exactly look in the future, but what do you plan to come?
Yeah,
possible.
I can say about my choir that we already discussed that, and we will do our best. We don't know the future. We cannot predict the future, unfortunately.
Nobody knows.
You know, like in our country, you know, like everything happening. But still, we're really enthusiastic because we have people who wanted to visit this festival for many years, for a few years at least. And we also have this idea to organize everybody, even those who already immigrated and left Belarus, they would want to join too. So we will try it. And also I know that Russian choir, Nina Yelisheva from St. Petersburg, they also really like want to join. They really want to come. So if you are open, it would be an honor for us.
Same for us, you can be sure. You can be sure. And I think we try to make everything possible to bring you guys over from Minzk together in a bus here. And I will ask for support, for donations, just to make this possible, because this is so unique and important to sing together, to bring different nationalities together to sing, to praise the Lord through music. That's all about. And if we sing, we're not feared, and we can dance and take the shackles off our feet. And there are shackles. It's still Corona. It's still there, and How is Corona in Belarus right now? Does it affect your normal life, or is it a difficult question?
No, we just we don't remember about it at all right now. This is the last point of fear. The Corona.
We have too much crisis right now, so we ignore other problems.
Okay, same here. Okay, that's good. That's good.
We pretend it doesn't exist anymore. And also, I just want to share something that a few weeks before this Ukrainian crisis, our soloist from our choir, who is also a pop singer, she wrote a song with the Ukrainian soloist, and this was supposed to be Belarusian and Ukrainian song about the unity of these two countries. Mm-hmm. And they even they made the arrangement. They recorded voices of the choir, and they waited Ukrainian soloists to come to Minsk to record her voice. But now she's stuck in Kiev, so we also wait this war to end, so we would finish this project. And I'm now I wonder how God has all these plans for this. When people just want to be friends, want to be together, want to create something, to work on something bigger, and when evil happens in life, when Satan works through others, and you see everything what is beautiful is destroyed.
And I know it's maybe there is just one answer, but what is your wish for the future? And of course, for the world situation, there's one wish that we'll live in peace. But beyond that, what's your personal wishes for you and your choir?
Well, I have an idea that this world will be better. I don't believe in it, unfortunately. But what I want to have a spirit inside. You know, I think that music should become spiritual stuff, because if we have a joy inside us, no matter what's going on around. So my personal dream is to be strong with God, and to be strong in spirit, and to have a vision. I know I see that some people start to see things different. We have a revelation about many things. What should we do? What should not? So my dream is to be led by God, all musicians and choirs, because I know that it will be a lot of miracles, healings, and even resurrections. I know that it will be like that. And this is my dream. Yeah, it's really my dream to be a part of it, a part of revival.
I would say mostly about the choir situation. I would like to see God's deeds in Belarus, and also through our ministry. So I consider everybody who does gospel in Belarus as a dedicated person. I see them as disciples of this message, disciples of this vision, and I would like to see more people taking responsibilities, taking dedication, and leading other choirs, organizing people, singing. I know that right now these are difficult times for everybody in our country, and especially for this unique thing as a gospel choir, because this music is still kind of new for our society. This music is it's too Christian for non-believers, and too cultural for Christians, too specific. So what I would like to see is that God would work through the hearts of those who already been touched by this music, so that they would put their energy and put their hope, their time, their talent into working in this area and worshiping God through this kind of music. And also I would like them to do this with the right attitude, bringing joy to people, bringing hope to people, and bringing God's spirit through that. And what I'm talking about is I feel joy when I see Anastasia working independently with her choir, gathering people, organizing, praying with them. And this is what I would like to see growing in our culture as other peoples in other churches and even not churches working with this, because this is a new thing and it will continue. But still, you see, through all these difficult, troubled times, it's kind of hard, but God is over everything, we know.
Yeah, my personal wish is that the three of us and lots of more people can celebrate and dance in peace in September in Hannover. Yep. I'll just invite you, at least a beer. It's on me. Keep my word. And I would just be so happy to see you guys there, to know we can celebrate the Lord and stay strong until then. Thank you for taking your time to keep us updated with your thoughts, your personal situation, the choir music. And I would love to stay in touch with you and hope to see you in Hanover. And we stay in touch. Thank you. And
thank you. God bless.
God bless. And see you soon.
See you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.